Barcelona's January transfer window is officially open. But once again, financial reality is shaping every decision. With Andreas Christensen injured, defensive depth stretched thin, and La Liga's salary rules tightening the noose, Barça are walking a familiar tightrope. In today's video, we break down the two realistic ways Barcelona can sign players in January, why Marc-Andre Ter Stegen's future could be pivotal, and why Mika Marmal's quiet return may make more sense than any glamorous signing. We'll also preview the high-stakes Catalan derby against Espanyol, including Alejandro Bald's crucial duel, and bring you the latest update on Lamine Yamal after missing training. No hype. No fantasy transfers. Just the real decisions shaping Barcelona's season. Let's get into it. 2 ways Barcelona can make January signings amid sustained economic pressure. With the new year finally upon us, the January transfer window in Spain opens tomorrow, giving clubs like Barcelona an opportunity to reinforce the squad mid-season. The Catalans are lacking a bit of depth in defense, especially after the recent injury to Andreas Christensen. While Barça are keen on finding a replacement for the Danish international, the club's economic position and an inflated wage bill mean they are unable to make any moves just yet. How can Barcelona sign new players? A recent report from Sport has indicated that since Barcelona still face sustained economic pressure, there are really 2 ways the club can think about signing new players in the January transfer window. One potential solution could be to utilize Christensen's injury, as La Liga regulations allow the club to utilize 80% of the player's salary to sign a new player. However, this is a temporary solution and the club would have to register the new player once again in the summer, meaning they will have to free up that bit of space in their wage bill in any case. The second solution could be to get rid of a high-earning member of the Barcelona first team, with all signs pointing towards Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. The Barcelona captain is clearly not in Hansi Flick's plans and therefore must leave in order to find regular action during the second half of the campaign. Girona have been recently linked with a move for the German international. But the club can only afford a loan deal if Barcelona are willing to pay a chunk of the salary. In any case, Ter Stegen has shown no desire to leave Barcelona anytime soon, meaning Barça may have no option but to exercise the Christensen option if they are to sign a new player in January. Opinion: Mika Marmal's potential return could offer stability rather than glamour for Barcelona in January. January transfer window planning at FC Barcelona has taken on a familiar shape. Injuries have disrupted carefully laid ideas, timelines have shifted, and the club once again finds itself balancing urgency with identity. It is a moment that demands clarity more than creativity, and perhaps that is why a familiar name has resurfaced. Mika Marmal is not a headline solution and is not the kind of signing that dominates talk shows or drives social media engagement. And yet, within the club, his name carries a weight that feels heavier than many louder options on the market. Barcelona did not expect to be here as the plan was to wait until summer, assess the squad properly, and pursue reinforcements with greater freedom. But football rarely respects planning. Andreas Christensen's injury has thinned the center-back rotation to the point where patience becomes risk. The winter window, once viewed as a last resort, now demands attention. In moments like these, Barcelona often look outward. But this time the conversation has turned inward. Marmal's path back into relevance mirrors something deeply Catalan in spirit, the kind of quiet endurance captured in La Placa del Diamant. Like Roderida's Calamita, his journey has not been defined by spectacle but by resilience. He left home not in search of glory but of growth, and in doing so he learned to survive in spaces where nothing is given. At Las Palmas, Marmal did not play with the safety net of expectation. He defended when the team was under pressure, learned to read danger early, and discovered the value of restraint. It was football stripped of comfort, and that experience has shaped him more than any controlled environment ever could. Now, Barcelona find themselves in a moment where those lessons matter. The club's sporting direction has always preached identity, such as understanding space, respecting the ball, knowing when to advance and when to hold. Yet this identity becomes fragile when urgency takes over. That is the tension currently facing Hansi Flick and his staff. Do they chase experience from elsewhere, or trust someone who already understands the rhythm of the house? Marmal offers something increasingly rare, something akin to familiarity without stagnation. He is not the same player who left. He is more composed, more assertive and tactically mature, and reads situations rather than reacting to them. Crucially, he does so without demanding the spotlight. That restraint is what makes the comparison to Roderida's work resonate. In La Placa del Diamant, strength is not loud. It is accumulated. It grows quietly through survival, patience, and acceptance of responsibility. Marmal's development follows a similar arc, shaped by time and not hype. Barcelona, for all their ambition, are once again being asked to choose between glamour and coherence. The market will always offer shinier names, players with louder reputations and higher profiles. But coherence is often built through continuity, through trusting those who already speak the club's language fluently. This is not about romance or nostalgia. It is about logic disguised as humility. Marmal would not arrive as a savior, but as a stabilizer, someone who understands the geometry of Barca's game and the weight of its shirt. The question is not whether Marmal is ready for Barcelona. The question is whether Barcelona are ready to trust a solution that feels quietly right rather than loudly impressive. Sometimes the most decisive choices are the ones that feel almost ordinary. And sometimes, as Catalan literature has taught us, the truest transformations happen without applause, simply because they had to. La Placa del Diamant is not a story about triumph in the traditional sense. It is about endurance, about becoming something stronger, not through noise or conquest, but through patience, suffering, and silent transformation. And like Calamita standing beneath the open sky of Gracia, perhaps Marmal has been ready all along, waiting not for permission, but for the moment to be seen. That is why, perhaps unintentionally, his potential return to the Camp Nou feels like such a profoundly Catalan football story. Barcelona defender set for a difficult challenge against 24-year-old Espanyol attacker. On Saturday, FC Barcelona play their first game of the new year, and it will be a big one as they take on local rivals RCD Espanyol in the Catalan derby away from home. Both teams go into the game on the back of an impressive run of form, while Joan Garcia's return to the RCD stadium is set to add more tension to the encounter. A big challenge awaits Alejandro Bald. As is often the case in matches of this nature, individual duels may prove decisive. Highlights as one of them will be the battle between Alejandro Bald and Tuartues Dolan, Espanyol's young English winger and one of the revelations of the season for the home side. The Barcelona left-back began the campaign well, but an injury sidelined him for 5 games and it took him some time to regain his best form. Now, however, he is once again surging down the left flank, where he forms an effective partnership with Rafinha. His understanding with Marcus Rashford has also been positive. Against Espanyol, a demanding test awaits him, as he will most likely be tasked with defending Dolan, one of the wingers who most frequently looks to dribble past opponents. He also tends to do so with a high success rate. Although the Englishman has yet to score this season, he has already provided 4 assists from 16 La Liga games, and his directness and boldness have caused problems for more than one fullback so far. The Manchester-born winger will look to take the game to Bald, who will need to be careful when choosing his moments to press forward and attack, as Dolan can take advantage of any space left behind. Derbies are always special for Bald, who joined Barcelona at a very young age after spending time at Espanyol's academy. He has fond memories of the Cornellà El Prat Stadium, as in May 2023 he played a key role in Barcelona's 4-2 victory at the ground, a win that secured the league title. On that day, Bald assisted the goal scored by Robert Lewandowski and went on to score himself. Key Barcelona attacker misses training due to discomfort ahead of Espanyol clash. In a rather concerning development, Carlos Monfort of Sport reports that Barcelona attacking superstar Lamine Yamal did not train with the group today, with the derby against RCD Espanyol looming large. With just 48 hours left before the derby, the players were due to train this evening at the Ciutat Esportiva Joan Gamper to begin the first session of 2026 and the penultimate workout ahead of the match against their city rivals. But Lamine was not part of the session. While the academy graduate did arrive at the club's facilities, he left a few minutes later and was unable to take part in the collective session led by Hansi Flick. For the time being, Barcelona have not issued any official communication regarding the reasons for his absence, but club sources indicated that it is not due to any significant problem. Providing an update on the situation, Javi Miguel of AS has now come out and reported that Lamine's absence from the session today was due to general discomfort. As things stand, both reports indicate that Lamine's availability for the trip to Cornellà El Prat is not in danger and that he is expected to be fit and available to face Espanyol. However, it does oblige the coaching staff to monitor his situation closely over the coming hours, as the final training session before the visit to the RCD stadium is scheduled for tomorrow at 11:00. With the Spanish Super Cup just around the corner, it remains to be seen how Flick opts to handle the situation. Barcelona's January window is not about ambition. It's about survival, balance, and identity. With financial restrictions still dictating strategy, the club must choose between temporary fixes and long-term coherence. Whether through Christensen's injury allowance or a difficult decision involving a high earner like Ter Stegen, every move comes with consequences. At the same time, solutions like Mika Marmal remind us that stability doesn't always arrive with headlines. Sometimes the most logical answer is already familiar, already trained in the club's language, already prepared for responsibility. And on the pitch, the Espanyol derby will test Barcelona's depth, discipline, and physical condition, especially with Lamine Yamal's fitness being carefully monitored ahead of a demanding run of fixtures. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Barcelona's transfer strategy, derby preview, and squad updates, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more daily Barça news and analysis. Visca Barça.